creative people are extremely creative, but they don't know how to sustain that creativity because there's no way to, get money for it, and there's this whole notion of if I sell my art, I'm selling my soul, sort of thing. And
I think it's also like, imposter syndrome, of where to kind of bring it down. It's you're not doing something because you've got this thing in your head, like, who am I to be doing this? And so if we had if someone like an engineer, which isn't a creative industry, they've got the degree, so it's like, I'm doing this because I've got my degree. With someone in the creative industry, they often might not have a piece of paperwork that shows them that they're qualified to do this, and they're just doing it, and it's kind of like, who am I to be designing for Vogue? Who am I to be doing whatever it is?
Yeah, I think there are two levels of that, especially in today's world of social media and how quickly things are being showcased. And if you look on Instagram, there's this everyone puts up all the cool stuff, right? So everyone has this idea of what success looks like. So that voice is actually really good because it should keep us grounded. That voice doesn't necessarily go away. The voice is, you're meant to make friends with that voice because it keeps you grounded. And what I mean by grounding is, if you have never, done a podcast before, or if you have never done video before, you have never put out content before, that imposter syndrome is really important in those scenarios, because I don't know whether you've ever tried surfing. Have you ever tried surfing?
I literally recently? I moved next to the beach, so I've tried it. Yeah. I'm terrible.
What's really interesting is when we go surfing for the first time, we expect to ride that board. We think that it's going to be, I'm going for a class, how I am going to ride it initially, right? And then you get there and you realize, wait, my top part of my body is not connected to the bottom part of my body. There's a whole bunch of different things that you need to learn and understand and figure out before you can stand up on that board. And I think that's the same. And I think what tends to happen in entrepreneurship, especially with social media, is that we have that illusion that it's easy, right? And we go, well, if that 18-year-old could do it,
why can't I?
Why can't I? So it must be easy because that guy's got a great life. So and he's sipping margaritas in Bali, so it must be easy. But what work has this person done to get to that point?
Because Instagram is just sipping margaritas in Bali and he's on the beach and everything, but you're not seeing him on the computer in the office or doing whatever he is for however long.
Right, and what he or she has done to allow that platform to do what it's doing. I mean, I say this a lot. Amplify is the overnight success that took 11 years to build. No, like, people, I don't know how many people know about the hard part of the journey necessarily, or even pay attention to the hard part of my journey. And I'm not saying that they should. I'm just saying, to give me sympathy, I think they should pay attention to it, because I don't know whether there's an easy path necessarily. Some things come easily because you worked for it. But
it's also good because it's like, okay, if I want to get here, I've got to work as hard as this guy. And so you seeing how hard they really are working, you can either go, I don't want to work that hard, I'm going to do something else. Or you can go, I'm willing to work that hard, I want to do it. But the problem is, as you mentioned, we don't see them working hard, we just see the outcome. So we're like, I want to try this. You'll give up after a few months, or you won't, you'll get, your friends will make fun of you, or whatever it is.
And we also have the tendency to say, I want to be like that. Like, I want to be the Gary Vee, or I want to be the whoever else, right? But we're not asking, well, what are the reps that Gary Vee has done, to be able to do what Gary Vee does today? And are we willing to put those reps in? And the chances are we're not.
And if you listen to his reps, I'm not willing to do that. If you listen to, he worked he always talks about how he didn't work, took like 3 or 4 days off in his entire 20s and all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't want that. Like, I want to have a good business and have all the success, but not at the cost of.
But see, that's really important.
Freedom.
The point is that as someone young, right, it's super important to respect the platform. The platform that you've been given, that you have the fucking choice to say that. Gary did not have that choice. I did not have that choice. A lot of people don't have that option as a choice even. So be privileged and feel privileged that you have that option to make that choice. And I think that's important.
Oh, 100%. I'm always saying, like, with social media, can be really dark and create a lot of social anxiety and mental health stuff, but it's also got huge benefits. you know, we can skip years and years of work with social media. We can educate ourselves with podcasts like this, or you can YouTube. I've learned so much of YouTube. All my video skills came from YouTube, and like Peter McKinnon and all these amazing YouTubers who put out video content around how to create videos and stuff.
Right.
And yeah, so I think we're able to skip working 10 years in your liquor store, you know, working hard to build these skills, and we can learn them a lot quicker. We can read books and get access to all this education, and, you know, use social media to build a business.
Yeah.
Versus what you didn't have, or what, you know, people.
Yeah, but information is only. I mean, there's no shortage of information.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we can read a whole bunch of stuff and
you don't
have all the plans and all that kind of stuff, but it's in the execution that the real learning happens, because you know, even like doing something like, you know, half a marathon, for example, like I need to do certain things on a regular basis in 16 weeks to be able to even attempt to cross that line, and if I don't, it's going to be extremely hard.